Hello everyone. I hope you had lots of fun yesterday learning all about the Arctic. And today we're going to delve into that a little bit more and learn about some of the animals that live in the Arctic Circle. Okay, so before we start, just have a look at this picture and see if you can tell your grown-up the name of any of these animals. Okay, so just pause the video now and see if you already know what some of these animals are called. Welcome back. Well done. That's a great way to start our lesson today. Well done if you knew some of the names of those animals. So let's find out, shall we? So, first of all, can we remember where the Arctic is? Can you remember where it is? It's at the top of the world, the North Pole, the Northern Hemisphere, right at the top of our world. Well done. So, thinking about this picture here, what we can see, what animals do you think might live in the Arctic? Do you think animals like cats and snakes might live in the Arctic? Have a talk with your grown-up about why do you not think cats and snakes might live there, or why do you think that they might live there? And if cats and snakes don't live there, then what animals do you think live there? Okay, so just pause the video now. Okay, great, well done. Some really good conversations there, and I can tell that you're really thinking about what type of animals might live there, so well done. So, first of all, we're going to talk about the polar bear. Well done if you knew what that animal was. It is a polar bear. So polar bears are the largest carnivores that live on land. And a carnivore is something that eats meat, okay? So we eat meat, we also eat vegetables as well, but carnivores just eat meat, okay? So polar bears only eat meat. And they use the Arctic sea ice to hunt for their food, and they eat seals, okay? Seals make up the most of their diet, so they eat seals every day, okay? Polar bears have black skin, and their fur looks white, doesn't it? But it's actually see-through, their fur. That's a special fact that I didn't know until today, until we were learning about the Arctic. So the polar bear's skin is black and the fur is see-through, which makes him look a whitey grey colour, okay? And they have a big layer of blubber, a big layer of fat under their skin to keep them warm, just like the emperor penguins that we learnt about last week. They have a layer of blubber as well. So young polar bears, baby polar bears, are called cubs, and they are born in the winter between November and January when their mummies are hibernating. Can you remember what hibernating means? That's right, it means going to sleep for the winter, doesn't it? Well done. So that is all about the polar bear. Let's see what other animal lives in the Arctic. Now this is an Arctic hare. So it's a little bit like a rabbit, but it's much bigger. And it has shorter ears. It doesn't have really big floppy ears like a rabbit does. It has little short ears that stand up, okay? And these Arctic hares have a very thick coat of fur to keep them warm and to protect them, okay? And in the summertime, their fur is blue or grey so that they can blend in with the rocks so that they can hide. And in the winter, the fur turns white so that they can blend in with the snow. So that's really amazing, isn't it, that the Arctic hare's fur can change colour to protect him. And Arctic hares like to dig burrows underneath the snow. But they can be hunted by foxes. We know, don't we, that foxes like to hunt for rabbits. And it's the same in the Arctic. The Arctic foxes like to hunt the Arctic hares. Okay. Young Arctic hares, so the baby ones, are called leverets. And they can see clearly as soon as they're born. So we know that some baby animals, their eyes don't work straight away, do they? But Arctic hares, they can see straight away. Now then, this is the Arctic fox. And the Arctic fox has the warmest fur on the planet. The fur is brown or grey in the summer, so it blends in with the rocks. And in winter, the fur turns white to blend in with the snow. So that's just like the Arctic hare, isn't it? Their fur does the same thing. So the Arctic fox have a round body, short legs, short ears, and then a big bushy tail, which they can use as a blanket. And Arctic foxes live in underground burrows. They have really good hearing and a really good sense of smell. And a mummy Arctic fox can give birth to between 6 and 16 babies. So they don't just have one baby at a time, they have lots of baby foxes at one time. Okay, who knows what this animal is? This one is a snowy owl, and snowy owls hunt at daytime and at night time, and their favourite food is lemmings, which a lemming is a very small rodent, a little bit like a mouse. But they also like to hunt other animals such as the Arctic hare, okay? They have feathery legs and toes to keep them warm, and they perch on the rocks as there are no trees in the Arctic Circle. Once young owls hatch out of their eggs, the male owl, so the daddy owl, gives food to the mummy and the babies, and they don't leave their nest for about 25 days. So when they're born, they stay in their nest for a long time. Okay, now this one, you might recognise this animal because we know that Father Christmas has lots of these magic animals, doesn't he, to help him. This animal is a reindeer. Well done. And reindeers can also be known as caribous, okay? And they like to eat moss and grass and plants. And they have huge antlers, okay? But in the winter time, the reindeers travel south because they don't like the cold weather. Their hooves are sharp and that helps them to walk on the ice and the rocks. And a baby reindeer, which is called a calf, doesn't weigh very much, okay? And they start growing their first set of antlers when they are 2, when it's their second birthday. Okay, the next animal is a seal. And we know that there are some seals that live in Antarctica, don't we? We learned a little bit about the leopard seal and the fur seal last week. So seals in the Arctic live on the sea ice and they dive into the water through the gaps to hunt for their food. They pull themselves along the sea ice with their front flippers, and the front flippers have strong claws on them. And the seals also have a big layer of fat underneath their skin to keep them warm. Baby seals are born with fur to keep them warm. And they are hunted by polar bears, so polar bears like to eat seals. And mummy seals carry their babies for about 10 months, and then they dig nests in the sand to have their young. And baby seals are called pups, and they have the waterproof fur can take about a month to become waterproof, so they can't go in the water at first when they're first born. Does anybody know what this animal is? This is a walrus. Well done. Walruses have 2 big tusks on their face, and they use these tusks for cutting through the ice, for defence, so for fighting off other animals, and for getting out of the water. And they have whiskers, which help them to find shellfish to eat. So shellfish are things like mussels and prawns. Shellfish are a fish that lives in a shell, okay? And the walrus have a thick layer of fat called blubber to keep them warm. So we're seeing lots of these animals have this blubber on their bodies, don't they? Walruses are very social animals and they like to be in big groups. So there's lots of them all together, okay? Now this one, you might think it's a wolf, but this is not a wolf, this is a husky. And a husky is a type of dog. It's a very big dog with lots of grey and white fur. And huskies are the dogs that like to pull the sleds that we talked about yesterday. Okay, they're really good at pulling sleds for really long distances, and they're really good at running. And they have double coats, so lots and lots of fur to protect them from the cold. Okay, so here are the pictures of the Arctic animals. So before they were a bit like a cartoon, but these are real pictures of these animals. So we have got a wolf. You do get Arctic wolves, a walrus, a polar bear, a seal, a husky, a caribou or a reindeer, an Arctic hare, and an Arctic fox. Okay, so what I would like you to do is go back onto the website, to the PDF document, and I have put some more videos and websites all about Arctic animals. I want you to see what you can find out. I then want you to talk to your grown-up about which Arctic animal is your favourite. And perhaps you could draw a picture of your favourite Arctic animal. I would love to see your drawings. Okay, so have fun, and I'll see you soon.